Hey folks, Jeffrey Darty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome back to the channel. I was going to do this one live, but we got a lot of moving parts here, so I wanted to make it as easy to understand as possible. Base 10, Base 12, Anunnaki, and the Bible. Hidden key, the Christian Whistleblower. That's me, Jeffrey Darty. Just making sure I spelled whistleblower right. Looks like it's spelled correctly. Fascinating insight, again, from one of my great subscribers. And wow, that's all I have to say is wow. And if you ever don't want me to put something on the air or use something or credit you with something, just send it to me in a message rather than comment on the video. And that way I'll know that you don't want it to be brought out. Because if you send me awesome, cool info, you run the risk of having it become the feature on a video. And I found this fascinating. I'd never even thought about this. And I probably never even would have thought about this. And yet, here it is. Amazing information about our number system and why it is the way it is. What it has to do with the Anunnaki and the Bible. And could it be a hidden key to understanding of our entire religious structure and maybe even our entire being, period. So let's take a look at this. And of course, this is the create yourself dealio we got going on. And we have that on the website, so check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. And this is comes from a subscriber, obviously. It's a message in my it's a message in my YouTube channel. And why won't this thing move for me? Move for me. Go to your home. There we go. And it says a big light bulb just came on for me. And you should talk to this. And here I am. As you were speaking, a little voice rang in my head how 9, and this was on the 144,000 video. 9 is the last digit, so it's the final single digit. And David says he is a tech guy. And I was very honored to receive a message from David Hasselhoff. And he said it depends upon the number system. It's in base 10 only is 9 the last number. And then he asked himself, when was the base 10 invented? And I looked this up and verified it. The base 10 was somewhere between the 1st and the 4th century. And he makes the statement that all of numerology is dependent upon which number system we're using. I haven't really looked into that part of it yet. I will look into it. That's very interesting. But maybe that's just a digit representation, since I know Roman numerals were also probably base 10. So my thought is having to do with base 10. Anyway, it's worth exploring. Look at this. He says that it seems to him like the Bible uses a base 12 system. And I agree. 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12 all over the Bible. I think the Bible probably is a base 12 system. Jeff, what are you talking about? Stay with me. The article, and I've researched this, all the experts agree that we use base 10 numbers for 10 reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We use base 10 because we got 10 fingers. But the idea and the belief is that the Anunnaki had 6 fingers on each hand for a total of 12 fingers. Now, this is something that is brought out and true and held to be true if you look at a lot of the lore. And this was something I thought was pretty good. And again, I'm gonna move myself. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do this full screen, and you can look at me in a minute. But this talks about the Anunnaki with 2 rows of giant skulls, 2 rows of teeth, 6 fingers, and this has been found and confirmed archaeologically. And we're just gonna let this play for a while so you can just watch what is being said there, because it's some pretty interesting stuff. And there are really, I mean, there's archaeological discoveries about these type of beings, and the Comanche talk about these type of beings, and other Native American tribes talk about these beings, and there's a lot of lore about them from a lot of different people. Story told by the Comanches. So the Nephilim, from all the information that we can glean, the Anunnaki, not the Nephilim, I'm sorry, the Anunnaki had 12 or 6 fingers, so 12 total. And the Bible is based on a 12 number system as well. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the Bible, as we know it, is very dependent upon a lot of the Anunnaki imagery and a lot of the Anunnaki stories. So if we're really to understand what's going on here, the Bible is a base 12, and if we base our 10 number system on the fact that we have 10 fingers, why is the Bible using a 12 base system? Is it because the people that wrote the Bible, or at least the people that wrote the original documents that the Bible is dependent upon, logic says they had 12 fingers? Wow. This can get very deep if you think about binary representation left and right. Then there's the mirroring of Leonardo's cryptic Last Supper. And a lot of them had 12 fingers. So this is important to notice stuff. So let's look at this. It's important to know what we're talking about and where we're getting it from. And this is an article of why are we on a 10 base number system. We're on a 10 base number system. You know, it flips every 10 units. We go back to 0, put a 1 in front of it. Duodecimal would be base 12. And duodecimal would actually be more efficient because our number system is built on 10. It has only 4 factors. A base 12 number system has 6 factors, which would make it eminently more practical. So why do we have this duo? Why do we have the base 10? Well, we have the base 10, most people say, because we have 10 fingers. Now, if you had a base 12, listen, nights and days are divided into 12-hour blocks. Hours are subdivided into 60 minutes, minutes into 60 seconds, all divisible by 12. So we, in fact, use a duodecimal number system to measure time, but we annotate it in the Roman decimal system, 10 base. Very, very, very interesting. And the question becomes, why in the world would people that had 10 fingers come up with a 12 base in the Bible? And why would they have this system set up unless they did have 12 fingers? And we have been shown that the Anunnaki did have 12 fingers. So the question comes to me, if our Bible is on a base 12, and if we are on base 10 because of our 10 fingers, then it may very well be that the Bible is on base 12 because the documents that it is dependent upon, specifically the Old Testament, and of course the New Testament grows out of the Old Testament. Is it base 12? Because it is based on the writings of people that were in base 12 because they had 12 fingers. And if you look at the picture there, there's 6 digits in each of those hands for a total of 12. 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 all over both the Old and New Testaments. That's what I call some very interesting stuff. Makes for some very interesting speculation. And the speculation is that the people that wrote our Bible, and we know this to be true, I've proved it over and over, were fully aware of the writings of the Sumerians that contained all of the lore of the Anunnaki. And in fact, the Old Testament was borrowed liberally from those texts, i.e. plagiarized. And we have a Bible. This is more proof, and this is a hidden key to the Bible, because we now know that the Bible is, without a doubt, based on Anunnaki writings, or at least the writings of people that had 12 fingers. And this holds a tremendous key to us and allows us to begin to look deeply into Anunnaki lore and find correspondences between the Anunnaki lore and the biblical lore and keys to our existence. And we're doing that. I mean, if you followed this channel at all, we're talking about Marduk and the Lord and all of the many and sundry correlations, Tiamat, Sophia. There's just, the list is almost endless. And this opens up a whole new realm of study for us. And it doesn't mean Planet X, it doesn't mean Nibiru, it doesn't mean that whole thing, but it means understanding. It's like finding a new source document for the biblical scriptures. So that it behooves us to do a lot of studying and a lot of looking and a lot of broadening of our minds, because it looks like, and again, it explains why the Bible is so problematic with so many contradictions and so many crazy ludicrosities in it, because you're taking base 12 data trying to force it into base 10. You're taking polytheistic data trying to force it into monotheism, and it just doesn't work. And thankfully they were arrogant enough to do this, because now the flaws are becoming very apparent, so apparent that even a crazy long-haired ex-Pentecostal evangelist can find them and expose them, and you can become aware of them when perhaps you might not have been, or at least not in as timely a fashion. So there you have it. Like, share, and subscribe. Please consider sponsoring this work. And if you want to do some work with me on a one-on-one basis, the scheduler is in the box below. Great, great stuff. Base 10, base 12, Anunnaki in the Bible. Is this a now revealed, previously hidden key to understanding the nature of the biblical text? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Unwind your mind, unindoctrinate yourself, guide your own spirit, be your own guru, and master your own ascension. Be excellent to yourself, so then we can be excellent to each other, and that's when this whole thing really starts working.